January 30th, 1933 sounds like a climax, but here is the paradox. Adolf Hitler did not seize Germany by force. He was invited in. Imagine this, a nation exhausted by defeat choosing its own demolition. The mystery is not how Hitler shouted, but why millions leaned closer. Germany was free, educated and modern, yet it voted fear into power. Here is the clever part. Manipulation works best when it feels like choice. Hitler presented himself as order without chaos, strength without sacrifice, unity without cost. Every promise sounded reasonable because it echoed real pain. This story begins with consent, not conquest, and that is what makes it terrifying. After World War I, Germany became a laboratory of humiliation. Reparations drained money, inflation erased savings, and veterans returned to streets that no longer needed them. Imagine this, your currency losing value by the hour while politicians argue procedure. Democracy looked weak because it moved slowly, and hunger does not wait. Hitler exploited this perfectly. He blamed outsiders, then promised dignity, jobs, and national rebirth. Rallies became theatre, symbols replaced facts, repetition replaced debate. Radio carried his voice into kitchens, posters simplified enemies, and crisis was framed as destiny. The background mattered because manipulation requires chaos first, and Germany had plenty. Now, the hidden logic. Hitler did not persuade people with arguments. He trained emotions. Step by step, fear was manufactured, then offered protection. First, identify a threat, real or invented. Second, repeat it until it feels personal. Third, present yourself as the only solution. Here is the controversial part. Propaganda was efficient, not magical. It worked because it simplified reality. Complexity creates doubt, certainty creates loyalty. Violence followed psychology, not the other way around. Laws legalized exclusion, neighbors became informants, and obedience felt patriotic. Manipulation succeeded because it turned moral surrender into civic duty, and many never noticed the exchange. The consequences were catastrophic and methodical. Once power was secured, Germany transformed rapidly. Industry rearmed, youth were conditioned, and dissent vanished. Imagine this, an economy revived through preparation for destruction. Millions were mobilized, then millions were erased. War followed ideology across Europe, and genocide followed bureaucracy. Entire populations were classified, transported, and killed with industrial precision. Economically, nations were drained, cities flattened, and families fractured forever. Power shifted away from old empires towards surviving giants, while trauma reshaped generations. The manipulation of one nation did not stay contained. It detonated globally, proving that controlled lies can produce uncontrollable outcomes. History paid the price. This story matters because manipulation did not end in 1945. The rise of Adolf Hitler shows how easily fear can be weaponized when systems fail and people feel unheard. Imagine this lesson applied today: faster media, louder voices, shorter attention. The past is not distant. It is instructional. Germany was not uniquely evil. It was human, pressured, and persuaded. That is the warning. When certainty replaces curiosity, freedom erodes quietly. Understanding this history is not about blame, but vigilance. If this narrative sharpened your awareness, share it, subscribe, and keep learning. Democracies survive only when people question the stories offered to them.